We're back with the next standard deck I'm going to show you guys. Again, this is another work in progress. It's kind of budget. It's not the best iteration of itself, but it's where we're starting. And we can try to improve it and get better. Most of this is just stuff that I've gotten from drafts with a couple of, cheap cards added in. This deck I call Ghosties. It's based around the card Seance. Seance, if you're not familiar with it, at the beginning of each upkeep, it lets you choose to bring back a creature from your graveyard in the form of a token creature copy. At the end of the turn, however, it's going to exile it. It doesn't necessarily give them haste or anything. So what my version of the deck is doing is using creatures that have haste already or do something big when they enter the battlefield to give us a lot of value out of our creatures when they die. So most of the creatures we play, we want to have the good, and just get better when we play them from the graveyard as well. Accidentally grabbed a Risen Sanctuary, no thanks. This is not that budget of a deck. Okay, so here we are. First, we have to get creatures into the graveyard, and we have to get Seance. In order to do that, we have Faithless Looting. It lets you draw cards and discard cards. So we get to draw to try and find our Seances, as well as our lands to cast all this stuff. But it also lets us discard things like Giant Adifage, which I'm just testing, by the way. I'm not positive that's where we'll end up at. So we can discard things to use for Seance. We can also play Avacyn's Pilgrims to try and ramp us up to 4 mana or 5 mana faster. We can mulch to fill our graveyard. Similarly, we can use Dawn Treader Elks to search for lands, put them into play tap to ramp us up faster, and also to put themselves into our graveyard so that we can later use them again with Seance. Next, Elvish Visionary is really good for blocking on the ground. It lets us do that and draw cards. So basically it's cycling while also preventing damage. Fiend Hunter. Fiend Hunter is really good against anything aggressive. We can also, if we end up with Angel of Glory's Rise, which used to be in the main deck, we could do some quirky hijinks if we had a sacrifice outlet and we bring the Angel of Glory's Rise in, sacrifice the Fiend Hunter, and keep basically going back and forth between the two. So that we can keep getting more and more, so we can keep bringing the same stuff back into play. That does require, I believe, 2 copies of Fiend Hunter, because you exile the Angel of Glory's Rise with Fiend Hunter. Oh no, then you just sacrifice Fiend Hunter, because as soon as it goes to the graveyard, Angel of Glory's Rise will bring it back. Anyway, that's not a huge deal. This is mostly just against that, or to exile things like Elvish Visionaries and Acidic Slime, so that when the Fiend Hunter dies, we get their effect again. Sorry, that's much more of what it's about. Spark Trooper with Seance is really great. It has haste, so again, we get to use it the first turn. At the end of the turn, we sacrifice it, which means it's available to Seance again. And when we Seance it, we get to get the whole effect again. So Trample, Lifelink, and Haste on a 6/1 are very, very good to get in quick damage. Plus it helps keep our health total high. Acidic Slime is very good. It lets us destroy non-creature stuff. It also lets us destroy their lands, which is very, very good when we're playing Pilgrims and Dawn Treader Elks and things to get our land in shape so that we can ramp up to it very quickly. Turn 3 Acidic Slime is a real pain if you're stuck on mana. Next is Zealous Conscripts. Again, following the haste damage plan, we can kind of get in some damage with early Spark Troopers and then say, alright, I'm taking your biggest guy and we're going to kill you. Again, Giant Adifage is not something I'm at all sure about. It's just something that I wanted to play with because it sounded silly. Originally, that slot was taken up by Molten Primordials because they're basically Zealous Conscripts. When I got 4 Zealous Conscripts, I figured I'd try just going with 4, but I could always decide to go with Molten Primordial again just to have essentially extra copies of it. I could also do something like Captain of the Watch to get free soldier tokens every time I bring it into play. But this is what the deck looks like so far, and we're going to go ahead and let you see what it looks like in round 1.